the community more safe. All he's done is just put a plan up on his website in the last 24 hours. He has no experience. He has never made any attempt to try to address crime during his entire career, except showing up for photo ops here in Philadelphia.
I will give you 15 seconds to respond to that, and then I have a question for you.
No. The Fraternal Order of Police from Braddock, the small town he represented, endorsed me. They supported me because what he's saying is not true. Violence skyrocketed in Braddock. I mean, the town wasn't in a good shape when John got there. It got worse when he was there. People kept leaving. So, of course, you're going to have, all kinds of aberrations. But, John, the city was dangerous under your leadership, and that's why the FOP endorsed me. I want to turn to you now.
Mr. Oz, this past summer, Congress passed the first gun control bill in decades. That would not have happened without the support of the man you were running to replace Pat Toomey. How would you have voted on that bill, and would you continue Toomey's legacy as being one of the lead Republicans in Congress on pushing for gun reforms? You have 60 seconds.
I have been supported by Pat Toomey. I've enjoyed working with him. I think he's done a wonderful job. There are parts of that bill that I like a lot. For example, I like the fact that there are background checks that are being strengthened now, so we can make sure that people who should not have guns don't get guns.
Incorrect.
I also like the fact that there's a lot of money invested
disagree.
for
Background
mental
checks
health,
are just a way for
which is an
the fucking
important part of the
government
equation.
to
I've been to Philadelphia. I've
stalk
done
citizens
prayer
and
vigils
get another
with black
bridge, right,
clergy
guys?
who are
Let's get all
desperately trying to
because
save
that's
the
what they have
people in their
bad
community.
it does.
Half the murders in Philadelphia are committed by people under 18. We have got to get mental health services to these people, and it's not happening now.
Sounds like they just deserve to be in prison.
Is that we have taken away the ability of police to do their job, and
that's true.
John Fetterman. Because John Fetterman has taken
police can be very incompetent
position against them. He's undermined them at every level, taken away some
Fetterman has brain damage, so of course he's the guy.
He admires tremendously. He's spoken highly of him just this week. He's taken his policies to a new extreme.
Okay, that was a little mean. That was a little mean, guy.
He's argued to release 1/3 of all prisoners. 1/3 of all prisoners out of touch.
Hold on, I'll move my face over here.
Would you have voted for that Pat Toomey supported bill?
I would have tried to improve that bill. There are things that I think most of us appreciate. I wasn't there at the time, so I can't speak to what was possible. But I do know there are parts of that bill that do make sense, and the ones I described should be followed. Let's see how it works out.
Okay, thank you, Lisa.
Let's see how it works out, because that's how everything in government works out.
Has been a problem.
Let's see how it works out.
For decades, but it is now spiking. U.S. Customs and Border Protection just released numbers from fiscal year 2022 that show more than 2.7 million total enforcement actions in the U.S. That is the most ever. Mr. Oz, beginning with you. Republican governors in the South have been sending migrants to Democratic-run cities and states without a plan or without any coordination. It is certainly gaining a lot of attention.
Yeah, because it's funny.
But is it an effective way to deal with
it's really fucking funny, actually.
60 seconds.
Lisa, we have a catastrophe at the border, and we should not have sanctuary cities as John Fetterman has.
Sanctuary cities are a mistake.
I've been
You're not assisting. Get the fuck out.
And Allentown and Reading, where we have large Latino populations. I understand the challenges of the border. My father was an immigrant. My mother were immigrants. I understand what legal immigration
I'm changing the setup.
But the completely porous, open nature of our border, which John Fetterman supports, has created a humanitarian crisis with cartels profiting with human trafficking operations. They take the money, they buy narcotics from China, and bring that into our country, and it's making every China border state. Pennsylvania is already a border state because we're top 3 in the country in fentanyl overdoses. Lisa, I can't
everybody's dying.
Where, and giving a big event where I can meet multiple people who say their personal lives have been destroyed because of fentanyl overdoses. Yet John Fetterman not only wants an open border, not only supports sanctuary cities, but he wants to legalize all hard drugs in America, including narcotics. That is, out of touch with everybody. That radical position was tried in Oregon, and she endorsed 50% homicide increase rate.
One moment. I will give a 15-second rebuttal.
Yeah, that is, again, the Oz rule. That's just not true.
That's better.
His family's company
more conducive to screaming.
Was levied the largest fine for immigration hiring.
That's what he sounds like.
And I think you should sit this one out in terms of what
Dude, you need to sit this one out.
All right, we do have a follow-up.
You are not well.
For you, Mr. Fetterman. Vice President Kamala Harris says the southern border is secure, yet we are seeing an unprecedented number of migrants crossing. Is the border secure? And if not, what would you do to fix what both parties are calling a crisis? You have 60 seconds, Mr. Fetterman.
I believe that a secure border can be compatible with compassion. I believe we need a comprehensive and bipartisan solution for immigration. That's what I believe. I don't ever recall in the Statue of Liberty did they say, take our tired, huddled masses and put them on a bus and
What?
use cheap political stuff.
But they're not our
I
masses.
believe we
They're
have to
randos
develop
from
a
fucking middle of
comprehensive and
nowhere.
bipartisan
Who
solution
cares about
to
them?
address our
What a
issue
fucking
here
cop
for
out.
immigration here in our nation.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. On to the
But
next
John's
issue.
not addressing the
We're-
elephant
we
in the
have to
room,
move
fentanyl.
on. We have to move on to the next issue. We will be circling back on that.
Turning now to foreign policy, Mr. Fetterman, what do you believe is the greatest foreign threat to the United States of America? You have 60 seconds.
I believe, is China. I believe China is
That's what he
not our
sounds like.
friend. And I believe that we can't be able to push back and we need to stand against China. And I believe that Dr. Oz has chosen to manufacture all of his merchandise on his name on it in China.
What?
Which one of us on this stage is going to stand up against?
Okay, do you have merch,
against
buddy?
China?
Do you have merch?
And I
Is it
believe
made in
that's the
China? Or is it made in
single
Vietnam?
biggest issue
Or
right
is
now
it made in
to make sure we
Venezuela?
address
Or is it made in
China
another
and make
shitty
sure
fucking
that
communist
it's not a
country
threat.
where nobody
Mr.
has
Oz, what do
fucking
you
human
believe is
rights?
the greatest
Huh?
foreign threat to the United States of America? You have 60
That's what I thought.
seconds.
The fact that our country is not projecting strength. Take, for
Yeah.
example, what we're doing with
We don't
Iran.
make anything
In order
here.
To try to get them to give us a little oil so we can deal with the catastrophe.
Yeah,
that
we gotta
Russia has
suck off
caused.
the fucking oil
We have
barons in
gone to them and tried
Iran.
to sign a
While they
deal
kill
that
more
would allow them
Christians,
once
huh?
again to have the
They
nuclear
kill
power to
they
blow
kill
up Israel, which they
women
promised they
who
would do.
protest
John Fetterman
against
supports that
the
deal. It doesn't make any sense for America to treat our
harsh
enemies
regime
better
that
than our
forces them
allies.
to
We have
cover
the message
every
with our
part of their
strong
body.
voice and the energy we have in
Here,
our
I'll show
country,
you
that
what
we have
women are
control
allowed
of
to
our
look
future.
like
And the
in
best
Iran
way for
right now.
America
Ready?
to establish its dominance is to
There it is.
unleash the energy here in Pennsylvania and across the country. By not doing that, not only do we cause all kinds of problems
Fucking
with local
crazy.
jobs and inflation, but we're
Absolutely
destroying our
nuts.
ability to remain energy dominant.
I'm so
We're not able
cold.
to become allies like we should be for countries like European nations, which are going to struggle with their coldest winter ever. It's the best way to punch Putin back and to teach China.
Yeah, we
lessons
should
is
be making
American
oil.
Energy to
Oil
reign
good.
supreme. And John Fetterman
Oil
doesn't
good.
like American
Yeah.
energy, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
scared
yeah,
of him
yeah.
because they know they can't trust him. He's proven it.
Mr. Oz, thank you. Lisa.
All right, on to our next issue. In our recent Next Star poll, a hypothetical rematch between Joe Biden and Donald Trump in 2024.
Ooh, I'm ready
would be
for
a
that shit.
statistical
You know I'll
tie
be
in
there.
Pennsylvania.
You know I'll be there.
46% of people said they would vote for former President Trump. 45% for
Really?
President Biden. Mr. Oz, would you support a Trump 2024 run, and why 60 seconds?
I'll support whoever the Republican Party puts up. And I have reached out across the aisle on my campaign because I want to bring balance to Washington. And I've tried to work with Democrats and Republicans and people in the middle, and people unsure, and people who forgot,
Okay.
people who got angry with where their party was
I like
headed.
this.
I want to bring us together to make this country do what it's always been able to
I'd
do.
rather just kick the
Unify, not
rhinos out,
divide,
but that's
and
me.
address the
I
problems
don't
as
want
surgeon,
anything to
because
do
in
with
the
the
OR, that's what I
fucking
do. I just fix the big
loser
problems in front of me. John
bucks.
Fetterman, however, cannot go to Washington and work with the other side because he doesn't even get along with his own side. He criticized Joe Biden for
That's
not spending
true.
enough money and not sidling up close enough to Bernie Sanders. He says he won't work with Joe Manchin. He said if you like Joe Manchin, don't vote for me. So if you're picking fights with your own party, you're not going to be able to reach across the aisle to
That's
the
true.
other side. His extreme positions have made him untenable.
I don't know
for
what
lawmakers.
Oz
We
did
need
to
send someone to
fucking
Washington
prepare
and
for this
understand the
shit, but
importance of
he
balance,
did something
sensible
good.
decision-making, and a
Like,
common sense
he
approach
is
to the challenges
on
that we all
point.
face. That's
It's
not John
like
Fetterman.
he has
Mr. Oz,
been in debate team
Donald Trump
for
has supported
years.
You. He has endorsed you. Why won't you fully commit to supporting him in 2024?
Oh, I do. I would support Donald Trump if he decided to run for president.
All right.
But
And-
this is bigger than one candidate. This is a much bigger story about how we are going
What?
to build a bigger
I clicked the
country
wrong button.
and let more Americans feel safe.
Are you concerned about the ongoing legal investigations involving the former president? 30 seconds, sir.
I haven't followed
No, I'm
them
not.
very carefully. I've been campaigning pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
They work themselves out. I have tremendous confidence in the American legal system, and I believe law and order will reign supreme. But speaking about that topic, there's one person on this stage who's broken the law, we believe.
Ooh.
John Fetterman took a shotgun, chased a unarmed African-American man, and put the gun, apparently, according to that man, to his chest.
No
John,
way,
you were
dude.
pulled over by the police. They let you go. You were the mayor at the time. Why haven't you apologized to that unarmed,
Holy
innocent
shit,
black
he
man
really
who
did
you
that,
put
didn't
a
he?
shotgun to
I
his
haven't
chest?
kept up
Right,
too
we
much
will
on
allow
this
a 30-second
because, you know,
response to
Fetterman
Mr.
is brain
Fetterman,
dead.
specifically what
But
he was
like,
saying referring to
wow,
the
that
incident in
is
Braddock.
insane.
I made the
I can't
opportunity
believe
to
that he
defend
actually
our
did that.
community as the chief law enforcement officer there. Everybody
He's
in Braddock,
defending it?
an overwhelmingly majority community of
Great,
Black,
great.
community all understood what happened. You know, they understood what happened, and everybody agreed that, and nobody believes that it was anything about me making a split-second decision to defend our community as well.
I
Wow.
apologize.
Mr. Oz,
yeah.
Please, we are still with Mr. Fetterman. Turning to you right now, you support a Biden run. Do you support a Biden run in 2024? Why in 60 seconds?
That's honestly, it's up to his choice whether he, you know, and if he does choose to run, I would absolutely support him. But ultimately, that's ultimately only his choice.
All right, thank
Wow.
you, Mr. Fetterman. A follow-up question on this. Our Next Star poll shows 51% of Pennsylvania voters disapprove of the president's job performance. You have publicly
Yeah,
supported
because
many of his
there are no
policy
jobs
positions.
left.
Are there
He
any
fucking
that you
ruined
disagree
everything.
With 30 seconds.
No, I don't disagree with anything our piece of shit president did.
No,
That's
I
gonna.
just believe he needs to do more.
Holy shit!
about
Did he
supporting,
blank
and
out?
fighting about inflation, and I do believe he can do.
Wake
more about
up,
that.
dude.
But at the end of the day, I think Joe Biden is a good family man, and I believe. He stands for the
Really?
human way of
The
life,
family
and I
man with his
believe
crack
that
addict son?
Unemployment is already
What a
down
bunch
to the
of
lowest
shit.
level in the last 50 years.
All right, thank you,
Really?
gentlemen. Dennis.
Really?
Let's turn
Really?
now, gentlemen, to the issue of Social Security. It is only fully funded through 2034. Many
Fuck Social
Americans
Security.
are worried that they will never receive their full benefit
Nope.
or have to accept
Fuck you.
cuts to their benefits. Mr. Fetterman, how are you going to make sure it is there for them? You have 60 seconds.
I'm
We
not.
need to
Fuck
make
you.
sure that Dr. Oz and
Maybe
Republicans
just
believe
stop
in
being
cutting
so
Medicare
lazy.
and
Fuck.
Social Security. And I believe that they have to support and expand Social Security. And if somebody send me to Washington, D.C., I would support and stand with the
You have
support
about
of
much
security,
brain damage as fucking Biden,
Social
buddy.
Security.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Oz. Same question to you. How are you going to make sure that Social Security is available for future Americans? You have 60 seconds.
We made a deal with the wonderful seniors of our nation. They worked their hearts out. They paid into a program. No one's going to touch it on my watch except to make sure that it's stronger than it is right now. Social Security, Medicare, which I know a lot about as a doctor, are the fundamental element of
Medicare sucks
security
ass.
for our seniors, and they deserve to feel like they're valued by our nation.
I
Fetterman,
completely
again, has
disagree
been
with him here.
Running ads and saying that I'm against
This
those
sucks.
with no proof. I've never said
Ah,
anything.
he was a
different than what I'm saying
doctor,
to you
so
on
I
this
get it.
stage. But
Whatever.
in an effort to fearmonger with people who are older and
I'm
who
like
are
rolling
taken
my eyes if
advantage
you
of
can't
who
tell.
run these ads. John, it's reprehensible, but
There you
it's also
see
reflective
it?
of your approach to doing these
I just
things.
rolled
You
my
haven't
eyes.
shown up on the campaign trail. You haven't answered questions from voters, not once on the campaign trail. You haven't answered questions from media.
No,
once on the
because he's
campaign
been
trail, even,
fucking
just to
ill,
show off that you
dude.
could do it. And this is the only debate I could get you to come to talk to me on. And I had to beg on my knees to get you to come. And if it wasn't for Dennis probably getting involved, I don't think it would have happened.
No, it wouldn't
Seniors
have.
need to know more about your radical left positions, and I need to be able to tell them about my positions. That's what democracy is built on. We exchange ideas, the voters decide. You have hidden from them.
Mr. Oz, I'm
Yes.
you have 15 seconds in a moment, Mr. Fetterman. but
Dude,
can
this
you
looks
give us
so
a specific
good. I
example
love
of
it.
What you would do to protect Social Security?
Well, for one, we have to make sure that it adequately increases with the higher inflation rates that we have. So we've got to make that 4% of wasted money that right now is in the budget redirected.
Wasted
appropriately. One of the
money?
first places that I
Yeah,
would use it
the
is
government
Social
wastes a
Security
fuck
and
a ton of
Medicare.
money.
Here's the reason.
That's
One of
what
the
they
worst
do.
things we can
That's
do
why we shouldn't give it
to
to them.
people is give them bad quality care. And so if you
And
have
Medicare is the definition of
if you have people
terrible.
who are not going to see a doctor, for example, because they
Sorry.
can't afford it, they'll get sicker. Bad medicine means more cost.
Thank
no
you.
one benefits.
Thank you. Mr. Fetterman, he
Turned
said a
up
few things
the
a moment
live
ago. I
stream
want to give
volume
you
a little
15
bit.
seconds to respond to those.
Beep.
Again, I can't just say
He's
one thing
fucking
other than
aired.
that Dr. Oz
He's
would
aired out, dude.
not support,
He's not
and
clear.
he would support
He's
cutting
not, he's
Medicare.
not alive.
And that's based
John, why do you say that? I've never said that.
It's absolutely a fact. It's a fact. You would have voted against the Inflation Reduction Act, which has dropped are
How,
prescription
what?
drugs.
How would
And
he
doesn't
vote
believe-
against it?
Okay, gentlemen, we need to move on. Lisa.
All
Like,
right,
vote
we are
in the
moving on to the
what?
topic
Huh?
of education.
He
The
wasn't
cost
a
of college
senator.
tuition is now
Like,
out
as
of
a
reach for many,
doctor?
many families.
I have no idea what he's talking
Our
about.
question is for both of you. We start with Mr. Oz. What is your plan to bring down the cost of higher education long term? You have 1 minute, Mr. Oz.
I've worked in academic medical centers my whole life, so I'm in higher
Yeah,
education.
he is.
And I can tell you the reason the prices have gone
why
up
he's got a fucking TV
sixfold
show.
in the
Yep,
last
it
40
has.
years is not because the education quality is better.
Nope, the
We've added
education quality is actually worse.
layers of middle level individuals who don't actually improve the quality education, in my opinion. There's a lot of expenses now incurred
Oh,
by these
Christ.
institutions, and it's not right for
Yeah,
the
they
American
use the
people to be stuck
fucking-
with the bill. I
the
would push them to
stupid
offer more electronic
colleges and
classes.
shit
Half
for,
the kids
like-
don't live on campus anyway.
Yeah.
John
They
Fetterman's
use it
approach,
for
however, is not to
stupid
deal with
parties
the
and
unnecessarily high
condoms
costs, but
and
just
such.
to pay it. So if you want to pay students who didn't pay their loans back, basically what John Fetterman and Joe
Yeah,
Biden
if you fucking don't
are
pay your
arguing
bill
for
back,
is
then
for
why'd you buy it in the first
plumbers
place?
who didn't go to college and couldn't,
Huh?
for a bunch of reasons, afford it, to pay the bills of lawyers who went to graduate school and haven't paid their debt back. I
That's
don't think that's
crazy.
right for the American people. We want a fair system. Drop the cost down by pushing for more value for the money we're spending, and then ensure there's a high quality education that lets people make a living when they graduate.
All right, I will allow
High
a
quality
15-second
education's a
rebuttal
fucking
specifically
joke.
on the issue
That's
of
not
student
real.
loan debt, which Mr. Oz was referring to. Mr. Fetterman.
If you have student loan debt,
Again,
pay it off, dumb
Dr.
dumb.
Oz, loves free,
Like,
free
seriously.
money when it's a $500,000
What?
tax break on one of his, homes down in a ranch in Florida.
Oh,
and whether
come
it was
on.
a $50
That's a bunch of
tax
bullshit.
break, about his farm in Montgomery County. So it's about supporting and helping, young earners, young students to give them a break. I believe that supporting
Like, holy shit.
All right, let me just ask
Yeah,
specifically with the plan to
Yeah, you gotta give
ease
this
student
fucker
loan debt, the debt
specifics,
forgiveness of
'cause he doesn't know what's going on.
$20,000 for Pell Grant recipients. Do you support that position?
I do absolutely support that. I believe, like I said, it's about helping young learners, be able to get a better start, getting off in the start of their life. And I do believe that, and I believe a majority of Americans support that as well too, helping
Support.
young learners.
All right, Mr.
young
Fetterman, I want
learners
to ask you
or,
the
like,
same question
educated
that I
people?
asked
What?
Mr.
Huh?
Oz. And what is your
Yeah,
plan to bring down the cost of higher education long term? You have 1 minute.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't answer. He didn't answer the question.
I did answer the question.
Believe,
Mr.
I
Oz,
believe.
Mr. Oz, please give him a moment.
You didn't. I fundamentally believe that
Whoa,
every
yikes.
quality public university education should be very affordable in every state, and I think that needs to be a
What?
significant
Higher
investment,
education is supposed to
to
be,
make sure that anyone
like,
be able
for
to
higher
afford
paying
to go
jobs.
to get
It
a
shouldn't,
4-degree
like,
university degree.
like,
say at Penn
if you're
State
becoming
or
a
Pitt
lawyer,
or any state
like, yes,
schools
it
to
should
make much
cost
more
less,
affordable,
but it
and that
shouldn't
means
cost
applying
nothing.
a significant investment to make sure and create it affordable that every family can afford.
How exactly, Mr. Fetterman, do you propose doing that to make it more affordable for families?
No, I just believe. I just making it that.
I just
much,
believe. I
It
believe,
costs
guys.
too much.
I
And I believe
believe.
providing the resources to reduce the tuition.
Yikes.
To allow families to be able to afford it.
All right, we have a follow-up question. This one now is for both of you. This is from News Nation viewer Ann Andrews, a registered nurse from Conneautville near Erie. Ann is a vocational educational instructor for a university and a practicing registered nurse.
Really?
If you were elected, could you please tell me what you would be doing for vocational education in the state of Pennsylvania as well as our
Does
nation?
that mean college?
So, Mr. Oz, if
Or
elected,
just, like,
what would you
basic
do for
education?
vocational education? You have 30
Because
seconds.
that's
I've
not a
visited
term that I
vocational
use
schools,
in
haven't
my
answered, but John,
school.
because obviously I wasn't clear enough for you to
Or
understand
my
this.
state,
There's
sorry.
no question that cutting out
Or
the
is
middle
that like
levels
some
of higher
doctor shit?
education
I'm not a
and
doctor.
providing digital programs would reduce the cost of education. It's a concrete
I-
set of ideas
I-
that I'd like to move on.
I also
With
agree
regard to
with him.
vocational education, this is really
there.
important for us to allow our trade unions to get more closely linked with the vocational schools. I was in a vocational school in Westmoreland, and they have about 1,000 kids. They could take 2,000 kids. Funding those programs is the smartest way to invest
Yeah.
our tax dollars. We'll turn out twice as many
Oh, wait,
children who
is
have a job as
Vocational
soon as
Trade
they
Center-
graduate. It supports our trade unions who want those kids
I have
in
no
their
idea,
positions
dude. I went to
anyway.
public
It makes
school.
the whole program work.
Thank you, Mr. Oz. Mr. Fetterman, if elected, what would you do for vocational education? You have 30 seconds.
Again, I think it's just the same the way that university for degrees as well too. Supporting that and partnering with the unions and making sure that vocation training
Unions? Fuck unions.
is affordable.
That's what I think of
and
unions. They could
providing
go
the
suck a dick.
resources to make sure everyone has
Unions
the opportunity.
suck.
Going to college isn't
The
the right
end.
choice for every person, but going to those kind of
Well, he
vocational
said something
schools, being able to create a
intelligent. He
career
said
to
college
to
isn't
Wayne-
for
to-
everyone.
Excuse me, to Wayne.
He's glitching out again, guys. He's glitching out.
Supporting to reduce those costs are critical too.
He
All
ran
right,
out of
thank you,
time.
gentlemen. Dennis.
His brain went
Moving
on the
now,
fritz.
multiple members of Congress, specifically Democrats, have called for the Supreme Court to be expanded.
No,
Candidates, we
bad
wanna know
idea.
Where you stand on this, Mr. Fetterman? Should the Supreme Court be expanded, and if so, by how
He's
many
gonna say yes.
justices?
He's gonna say yes. He's gonna say yes. I call it now.
I don't stand.
Damn
don't
it, I
believe
was
in that.
wrong.
I fundamentally believe that even though I don't agree with the ideological breakup of the Supreme Court, I believe it's not about changing the rules. It's about
That's what they
acknowledging
want,
where
though.
we're
They
at,
do want the
much way
rules to be
Republicans
changed.
wanna
That's
try to
literally
change
what the Democrats
Constitution
want
about
all the
how
time.
our Supreme Court
Rules
in
for you, not for
Pennsylvania is going
me.
to be done, and I don't support that. So I think it's critical that we be consistent, and I do not believe in supporting the Supreme Court.
Mr. Oz,
I do not believe in
should the
supporting the Supreme
be
Court.
expanded? If so,
That's
by
a
how
funny
many
gaff.
justices? You have 60 seconds.
I would never touch the makeup of the Supreme Court, and I would
Nice job,
advocate to
Oz.
leave it
Nice
the exact
job.
Same size it is. But John Fetterman's radical positions have spilled over into what he would do in Washington. One of the first things he has said, and he came back to the campaign trail, is that he wanted to bust the filibuster, which means removing the brakes on the Senate overreacting. That's a risk.
true. That is true.
But if you do that, then you would free up the Democrats in the Senate without getting the normal amount of votes to actually expand the Supreme Court, add more states, do
That's
things that are
true.
detrimental to the
Holy
well-being
shit.
of the country. So
He
I think
he pointed it
on
out.
your first day back, arguing that we should get rid of the filibuster is a dangerously radical move that would hurt Washington. It's not
Yeah.
in our nation's best
We don't
interest.
need the government moving at a faster pace with the fucking speed they've ruined
All right,
everything.
At this time, we are ready for our closing statements. You each
No.
have 90 seconds
It was
to
funny.
convince Pennsylvanians to vote for you on Election Day. Mr. Fetterman,
Let's go, Oz,
your
let's go.
First 90 seconds.
Once again, I would
Come on,
just like
Oz.
to say that
Does he
my
still have that
campaign
lump
is
on the
all
back of
about
his head?
Fighting for anyone in Pennsylvania that ever got knocked down, that had to get back up again. I'm also
Yeah,
fighting for
knocked
any
down
forgotten
like straight
community
white men,
all
or do you
across
like to knock
Pennsylvania
those guys
that ever
down?
got knocked down, that had to be made to get
Yeah,
back up.
those don't really count,
I've
do
made
they?
my
Huh?
entire career dedicating to those kinds of pursuits. I started as a GED instructor back in Braddock over 20 years ago because I believe it's about serving Pennsylvania, not about using Pennsylvania for
You're
their own
using
and
Pennsylvania, all
interests
right.
as
You're
well.
using like a big
To me,
fat ass
careers
wipe.
are revealed by your real underlying values. And my values have always been about fighting for forgotten communities all across Pennsylvania.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fetterman. Mr. Oz, your final thoughts, 90 seconds.
All right,
I
Oz, let's
love
go.
traveling to the four corners of the beautiful Commonwealth, and I've heard your problems. I'm a surgeon, doctor. I listen to what you say, and I'm trying to help address them today.
Nice,
I've talked
nice.
to seniors worried their Social Security checks wouldn't go far enough with the raging inflation. I've talked
Nice
to couples
point.
want to make their first down payment on a new house, and they can't afford it anymore because of interest rates.
True.
I've talked to families
You want to cut
petrified.
Social Security.
Mr. Fetterman, it's his turn for his closing.
He really just
I've
tried
talked
to.
to families worried about
my
fentanyl
God.
showing up in their mailbox and literally taking the lives of their children who they find blue in bed. I've talked to families who won't let their kids go outside because of the crime wave that's been facilitated by
Yes,
radical
yes,
policies
yes.
like the
He's
ones
hitting
John
all the good
Fetterman has
points.
been advocating for.
Oh, I love
But
it.
Here's the deal, right? None of this has to happen. This is all very addressable. I'm a surgeon. I'm not a politician. We take big problems, we focus on them, and we fix them. We do it by uniting, by coming together, not
I like
dividing.
this.
And by doing
Very
that, we
good.
can get ahead. But I've got one question. to
Very
challenge you.
rehearsed,
Just
but it's
one
still
question.
good.
If you take what I'm saying,
I
to
like
heart,
it.
Ask yourself this, and others
He's
in your
looking
family.
directly at the
Are
camera.
you unhappy with where America's headed?
Yes,
I am.
yes.
And if you are as well,
This is so
I'm the
good.
candidate for change. I'm a living embodiment of the American dream. I believe we're the land of opportunity, the land of plenty. I believe we can balance a budget without recklessly spending.
I love what he
believe we
did
can
here.
have an unleashed energy policy that helps us all. I believe that we can have safe city streets and
I
a
believe.
secure border so legal immigrants can come across, but you shut the...
Important issue in Pennsylvania. The eyes of the
Did
state
he
are
just
on
got
this
cut
debate
off?
tonight, but on Sunday they will be on Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. As
Did
the
he just
state's
get
two
cut
NFL
off?
teams
Look,
go
everybody-
head-to-head. Mr. Fetterman,
Cut off,
Steelers or Eagles, and why?
Everybody's freaking out.
Clearly, always for the Steelers.
Mr. Oz.
I'll be at the game rooting for my Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Thank
That
you
was
both
cute.
so much. This does conclude our debate. We do want to thank our candidates for being with us, Mr. Fetterman and Mr. Oz.
Fuck
and
off,
for
Fetterman.
all of you at home who have been watching, thank you so
You
much.
really like
And we
need
wanna
to be in a
thank our
special
team at
like
WHTM for hosting
you
us
got
at
it
their
stroke, dude.
studios
You're not doing
tonight.
well.
Remember, voters at Election Day is just 2 weeks from
Yippee.
today on Tuesday, November 8th. Thanks for being with us. And
Vote
have a
Oz,
great night.
vote Walker, vote Kemp. Well, I saw this one fucking Democrat rat watching this debate. I want to see what he said about it. Fetterman and Oz debate. Let's see what he's saying. He was streaming too. Rat. Where is it? Live. See, if you don't put live in it, then it won't. There, this dude. What is he saying? He doesn't look too happy, so that's good news to me. Oh no, he looks sad.
Good to go now without that debate audio. Just let me know that you can hear everything okay, and we'll do a quick summary.
He's not talking too much. Not really smiling. Uh-oh. Dude, talk. It's awkward. Guys, the volume's up. He's just not talking. Holy shit.
Okay, it looks like we are good to go. Okay, first off, thank you for watching. If you want to see more debates, I'll try to
Is
cover as many
the
debates
Young
as I can.
Turks
So
watching
please,
this? Are they watching it? Damn it, they're not watching it. Fuck, that would have been funny. All right, let's go back to there, dude.
Obviously, Fetterman had some issues in terms of like responding and everything.
There we go.
I do want to point out like the
Yeah.
broader
Chunky
issue
Uger, the
at
horse
play here,
fucker.
and that is the issue in terms of like what would happen with a Republican majority in the Senate versus a
Oh,
Democratic
he's
majority in the Senate.
scared. He's
And I think the
scared.
one thing that we have to look toward is you know, on the issue of abortion, for example, Oz has come out
Yeah,
and
you're so
said
scared that
believes
people
abortion
can't
is,
kill
quote,
babies.
murder. He was caught on
Boo
leaked
hoo.
audio calling
Boo fucking who.
abortion murder at any point in
Yeah,
pregnancy.
it is murder.
He's called himself 100% pro-life. He's celebrated
too.
the Supreme Court's decision to overturn abortion rights.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
was
that was
fucking
something that
dancing
Fetterman
with the
pointed
Clarence
out.
Thomas
He said that
memes.
Roe was
You
wrongly
better-
decided.
It is
and he looks
wrong.
forward
Even-
to quote supporting
even
pro-life legislation.
Justice
Obviously, there's that
Ginsburg
nationwide
said
abortion
that it
ban
was
that he,
made on shaky grounds and
had
it
a
would
little
be
bit of
overturned one
difficulty
day,
in
and
terms
she
of
was
saying
right.
whether he would,
This guy's
support it or not.
fucking
He
crying
ultimately
about
came out
it.
and said that he would
What a-
support a
what
state's autonomy to
little
do,
rat.
what they want in terms of
Yeah, it's states'
abortion
rights.
bans or not.
They had a whole war
So
about that, remember?
Right off the bat, that just shows that he is not in support of Roe, which is a position that 70% of Americans do support.
No.
But more broadly, this whole talking point
People
about states'
barely
rights is
support
exactly the same
abortion.
talking point that
Definitely
these
not
national
with
Republicans
the
pointed to
lengths
when
that
Roe was
Democrats want to
overturned.
put a
And
shit
the very
towards.
first moment that they had the opportunity, Lindsey Graham introduced his nationwide abortion ban, and that's the federal
Yeah.
legislation. That's not even notwithstanding all of those abortion bans that are in
He's
the
so
individual
he's
states.
so mad.
So when we hear these talking points about, oh, well, I'll just leave it up to the states, just remember that is code for pay no attention to what I'll do now. Let us win the election, and then as soon as we have power, if you think that Dr. Oz, as part of a majority of Republicans in the Senate, would not vote in favor of a nationwide abortion ban, you are kidding yourselves.
Yes.
These are the same people that vowed not to touch abortion at
Evil
a national
maxing,
level
guys.
before
Evil
immediately
Exactly.
introducing
Yes.
nationwide legislation to do exactly that.
Yes.
And
That's
by the way,
good.
they introduced that legislation before the election. If they're willing to do that, to
Yeah,
take a stance,
we also overturned
a
it,
position
dum-dum.
that only 30% of Americans support before the
No,
election. when
he
the
is
eyes of the nation are on
misconstruing
them,
these facts
when they've
entirely.
lost votes in a place like Kansas, when they've
We
when
have
there's been
gained
a 9.5 point
votes.
average swing to the left in
The
those 5
Republicans
special
have
elections since
gained
Dobbs. If
votes
they're willing
after
to
overturning
put
Roe v.
forward that
Wade.
legislation of
What
a
does that
nationwide abortion
say?
ban before the election, given how
Have you
popular
looked
they've
at the
seen,
polls, dude?
seen Roe
Like,
to be,
we've
given how
gained
unpopular their
votes.
position is,
What
just
planet are you
imagine
on?
What Republicans will do when they don't have to worry about facing voters. That's what I'll say on that issue. Again, Oz is trying to present himself as a moderate on this issue. He was caught
He's
on audio
seething.
calling
He's
abortion,
seething.
quote,
Look at the
murder
soy.
at any stage of pregnancy.
Look
He's
at the soy
repeatedly
coming
called
out of his
himself
pores.
100% pro-life. He said that Roe
It's
was,
all
quote,
over his
wrongly
forehead.
decided. So if you're wondering why, for
It
over a
was
month,
wrongfully
he
decided.
refused to give
Every
a clear
justice
answer
has
on where
said
he would
that.
stand on
Holy
moving
shit,
on to
somebody
nationwide
subscribed.
abortion ban. It's because he was coming up with a bullshit answer in terms of what he would do when he was actually presented with that issue. All these Republicans say the same
Who
thing. Once
was
they have power,
it?
they'll do something completely different. If you want to codify Roe, if you are of the mind that women should have bodily autonomy, that they should have control over their own bodies, if they should have control over their own reproductive
Somebody
health,
comment in the
then there's
chat.
only
Somebody
one
who just
party
subscribed.
who's vowed to do exactly that, who's vowed to codify Roe, which was the law of the land, for 50 years. 50 years, women had the right to a safe and legal abortion in the United States. There's one party right now.
Yeah,
who
safe
will
and legal
continue
murder
to
babies.
preserve
Yippee.
those same privacy rights.
Hold on, I'm looking at
By
it.
the way, it's not just Roe. After abortion, we're looking at a Republican Party that's hostile to same-sex marriage. We're looking at a Republican Party that's hostile to
Oh, come
contraception.
on.
So if you're someone out there who thinks that you have the right to birth control,
He's
conservative,
just a
liberal, independent, doesn't matter. If you
He's
think
just
that
spouting
you have the right to
nonsense here.
birth control in this country in 2022, there is
He
one party
is
that is vowing to
so
support
hard
those rights.
trying with
There's one
the
party that's
scare
protecting
tactics
your
and
right
oh the
to
gays can't
contraception,
get
to
married and you
same-sex
can't
marriage,
like have
to
period
abortion
pills.
rights.
Like
Only one party.
ooh, this is
It's not
scary.
Dr. Oz's party.
What a nut!
Also, one other point.
Like seriously,
In terms of
we just
the,
didn't want babies to die. Is that so
questioning the
terrible?
legitimacy of the 2020 election. Oz
I
had
guess
come
that
out
makes us
previously, despite what
fucking
he said in this-
Republicans
in this
evil,
previous
right?
debate. Oz has come out
Yeah.
previously and refused to validate the legitimacy of the 2020 election. He said that
Yeah, because it was
he
a
tweeted,
ton of dead people voting.
About not tweeted. He said of the 2020 election, quote, "I've discussed it
Oh,
with President Trump,
tweets,
and we
so scary.
cannot move on." He's also said, quote, "We cannot leave 2020 behind."
Yeah, we can't.
Also, of the insurrection, Oz said, "I don't believe there was an insurrection. I
It
believe
wasn't an
people coming from
insurrection.
different
Ah,
places."
see, now I know this guy's
Different
psycho.
places incited by Donald Trump to ransack the Capitol.
Ransack,
and assassinate a bunch of elected
really,
officials, including Mike
really.
Pence. So I mean, this is somebody who will
What
twist
a
himself in
crock of
pretzels
shit.
to conform with whatever the Republican Party line is of the day, and so he's obviously too
Oh, wait,
afraid,
I can I see
to
it? Hold
incur
on.
the wrath of Donald Trump. So if he has
The
to toe
wrath,
the party
yeah,
line when it comes
so
to Trump,
scary.
when it comes to
I
the
think
January
it's
6th insurrection,
Edwin
that's exactly what he's going to
Osami.
do.
Thank you for subscribing.
Again,
I think that was
is
the
not
one.
someone who has shown courage in anything that he's done.
What are you talking
Dr.
about? He
Oz
did
is
great
someone
tonight.
Who's always used his positions of power to exploit people.
Oh,
He's done
that's
it,
what it is. It's
as a
because he's
doctor
a
when
scary
he's
white
hawked a
man,
bunch
huh?
of miracle cures and
Yeah,
and
there it is.
apps that he's
There it comes
owned
out.
and
The classic
uh,
Democrat
any different,
racism.
he's had goji berries and I mean.
Oh, this
God
guy
knows
is
I
against
cannot come up with
natural
names of
health
things that he's
supplements.
hawked and shilled over
He
the
must
years
be
to make
a
a personal
Pfizer
profit. Things that he's personally invested
cocksucker.
in. Companies more
Oh
broadly
yeah,
that he's invested
Pfizer,
in.
give me
So,
the Fauci.
So that's what I would just say in terms of 2020 election denialism.
That's
so
what he's like.
This race is, notwithstanding John Fetterman's auditory processing issues tonight, I think this race, the stakes of it are pretty clear. If you're looking for a
like.
Senate that is going to move forward toward codifying abortion rights, then there needs to be a Democratic majority. If you're looking for a Senate that is not interested in codifying abortion rights,
Yeah,
but
I'm
is
not.
rather
I'm not
in
interested
passing
in killing
nationwide
baby
abortion
rights.
bans,
No
then
thanks.
Dr. Oz is probably the candidate for you.
Yay,
So
Dr.
if you're
Oz.
one
Let's
of
go
the
for it,
70%
guys.
of Americans who
Woohoo.
do believe that women should have bodily autonomy and other privacy
It's
rights
not the
beyond
woman's body. It's a
if you're of
baby.
the vast majority of Americans who believe
I'm
that
a woman,
same-sex
I would
marriage
know.
should remain legal and
So,
not
yeah.
a state's issue, as Oz was referring to.
Gotta put on my
previously in this
angry
debate.
face for that
If you're
one.
one of those Americans who thinks that
Look at me,
you have the right
guys.
to contraception,
Don't
and
kill
that it shouldn't
babies.
be a state's issue.
Okay.
Again, as Oz was leaning on in this debate, a state's issue is just something that these people lean on until they have the opportunity
Really?
to ban things.
States
at a
issues
national
aren't
level.
real.
And that's
Okay.
exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, just
Commie.
look at exactly
This
what
guy
happened
is an
with Roe.
absolute
They
commie.
said that Roe should be an issue that should be decided by the states. As soon as they had the
Yeah.
opportunity, as soon as
Exactly.
Roe was overturned by the Supreme Court, the Republicans introduced a nationwide ban on abortion.
Yep, we sure did,
again,
and it
like I
went
just said
great.
before,
We got
if
so many
this is
more
something we're
votes,
willing to
and we're
do
gonna win
now,
this
before an
November.
election,
And
even
he is
though
about to
how
cry.
grossly unpopular that position is. It's only popular with 30% of Americans.
No,
If they're
it's
willing
really
to do that
popular with
now,
a lot of people.
Just imagine what
Because
they
they
will do
realized, oh,
when
wait,
they
we're
don't
killing
have to face the
babies.
voters.
And
This
Planned
is something they're
Parenthood was a
introducing in,
eugenics
like, September of an election
program.
year. A position so unpopular that voters in Kansas, deep red Kansas, rejected it by a net 20-point margin. Just imagine what these Republicans
Yeah,
are going to
he's
introduce
delusional.
once they don't have to face the voters, once they have 2 years of just carte blanche. And that's also notwithstanding the fact that a lot of these Republicans have vowed, if they're elected in 2022,
what?
to refuse to certify any Democratic wins in 2024. So if you plan
Really?
on voting anyway,
Oh, now he's saying, like,
if you
we're
think you're
not
gonna
gonna
vote in the
certify
general
any
election, and
Democrat
you want
election.
your vote
Really?
to be heard, to be
He's
counted,
really saying that?
then this is the election that you have to focus
Wow.
on. Because if a lot of these election deniers, and there are hundreds running across the country, especially in some
Well,
high-profile
you never
races, Secretary of
certified the
State races
election.
in Arizona,
So how are
in
we supposed to
Michigan,
believe it?
in Georgia. If you want your vote to be counted in 2024, then do not let these Republicans who have opted to use this election to try and lay the
Dude,
foundation
you're not
to
going to win
deny Democrats
2024
any
no matter
legitimate
what
win
you
in
do.
2024.
Even if you make dead people vote
this is the
again.
time to turn
Like,
out to
seriously,
make sure
there's
we elect
not a
people
goddamn
now
thing
who
you
are
can
willing
do.
to, count the votes in a fair manner.
Dude, do you see
and,
his
and
eyes? He looks like he's
allow
gonna
a Democrat
cry.
to win if they actually do.
Oh my gosh, I gotta zoom
So
in
that's
on
something
this.
that I would say now in terms of if you plan
Look-
on voting in
look right
2024
here.
anyway, if you're a general election voter.
The only
if
reason
you're
you can't see
not
it
a
as much is 'cause he's got
high-propensity voter,
glasses.
You don't know whether it's worth it to come out in midterms.
Look
if
at
you
the zoom.
see what's going on and say, okay, I'm definitely going to turn out in 2024, now is the time where you have to make sure
Why
that your
can't
vote can
abort
actually count
babies, guys?
in 2024. And that you don't allow some election denier who's already broadcast their intention to reinstall Donald Trump by any means
Yes!
necessary, like a number of
It's
these,
Trump time,
these election
baby.
deniers have done. There's the
Trump or
Secretary of State
DeSantis
in
or
Nevada,
Kanye.
Republican.
It's gonna happen,
went on,
guys. I'm so
on stage
excited.
at a rally with Donald Trump and basically said that he is running on a platform.
Hold on, let me
being able
put
to
my boomer
install
hat
Donald
on.
Trump as president. If you think that guy is going to give a fair shake to the Democrat running, if he's elected in office
Yes.
in just a couple of weeks,
Boomer
you're kidding
core.
yourself. So if you want your voice and your vote to count
Boomer
in
core.
2024, then this is the time. This November is the time where you have to make sure that we have
Boomer core.
an election foundation in place where all of our votes are actually counted, where everything
Fetterman,
is fair, where we have people who care about the will of their voters as opposed to the.
I'm making a
partisan
Young Turks
will of their party.
review tomorrow, so
that's
be on
what
the
I would say in
watch
terms
for
of
that. That's gonna be really
Focus on
funny.
the
I'm just
broader
gonna shit on
picture
them.
of what this election
You know,
actually
Cenk
is. This is a
Uygur, the horse
referendum right
fucker,
now
and his,
on reproductive rights, on same-sex
disgusting,
marriage, on the future of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social
nephew
Security.
Hassan Piker,
Again, we've had the guy
who still
in
won't
charge
fight,
of retaking the Senate for the Republicans,
Sam Hyde.
Rick Scott, who's come out with a platform of sunsetting all federal legislation every 5 years.
Yeah,
And that's
federal
on the heels
legislation
of
is stupid.
Years and years and years of Republicans.
Well, he's a
warning
Democrat. He's got to
that they
defend his
want to
party. That's why
eliminate
he's doing
Medicare,
this.
Medicaid,
Like,
and Social Security.
he can't
If you
help
think
himself.
A Republican majority is going to reauthorize any of those programs. You're
the Young
kidding
Turds, yeah.
yourself.
That's actually the name of my
What
segment.
this would mean if Republicans are able to take the majority in the Senate, in the House, is that they will
Got a little
move
soy jack
to
picture on the
eliminate,
thing.
those programs: Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, the right to a safe and legal abortion in the United States.
Oh, a
same-sex
safe and
marriage,
legal baby murder.
contraception.
Yippee.
These are issues that span across demographics.
He literally has the
across
soy
age,
jack
across
look.
Gender.
Like, guys.
These are issues that impact everyone.
Hold
Whether
on.
you're a young person who
Let me
thinks
get
that
the
you
picture.
have the right to contraception in this country, or when and how to grow your own family. Whether you're a senior who's paid into Social Security or Medicare
Versus
or
soy
Medicaid your
Jack.
entire life.
I gotta
and
make
you
this
want to
point.
actually
I'm
benefit
not
from
gonna
the
let it go.
programs that you've paid into. That's what's on the ballot right now. So I'm much less interested in what happened in this debate, and much more
It's
interested,
him!
in
Look!
what will happen if Republicans take control.
It's
versus
him!
If Democrats
He
take
has the
control.
same
Democrats have
glasses!
done a ton with a razor-thin majority thus
We
far.
can't kill babies.
In terms of combating inflation and high prices, something that is very real, something that a lot of people are contending with right now, definitely are not trying to minimize any of these
he
high
can
costs or
barely
anything.
survive the
Look
stress
to
of
the
right now.
party who's
Dude, I
actually done
bet
something
100% that he
to,
cried when
to
coronavirus
ease those
happened.
costs.
Probably
And
doesn't think
that's
China started it
Democrats when
either.
they passed the Inflation Reduction Act. That's going to allow the governments to negotiate lower drug prices. That will help
It is
lower
the same
costs.
glasses, dude.
It
I can't
caps,
believe that shit.
Insulin, $35 a month for Medicare recipients. That's going to ease costs.
Yeah. You know
It
who
caps
removed the
out-of-pocket
thing
costs for seniors at
for
$2,000 a month
lessening the
Medicare
cost for
recipients. That will
insulin?
ease
Oh yeah, that was
costs.
Biden.
They passed
Because
the
Trump
PACT Act.
put
That's
a
going to fund veteran
fucking
health care. That will ease costs
presidential
for those people.
thing that
Passed the
said,
CHIPS
hey,
Act.
don't do
It's
that.
going to bring the semiconductor chip industry to the United States. That will ease costs for people looking to buy electronics. Every step of the way, all of these programs that Democrats have introduced to ease costs, given the reality
Ease
of inflation,
costs? Have you
Republicans
seen
opposed.
the gas pump?
Why? Because they want
Hello?
high inflation, high prices
Are we
to
looking at the
persist,
same thing
so
over
they can
here?
use these things as talking points,
Jeez.
as a cudgel to wield against Democrats. They don't want solutions. They want problems to be able to benefit from politically. Look at the party. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what
I
they do.
know, they do hate babies.
We have legislation that proves that one party is trying to help. They've passed.
He
you have Democrats
is
who passed the
slobbering all
Inflation
over
Reduction
him.
Act,
I
Democrats who
don't know
passed,
how
the
he can
CHIPS
look
Act,
so
the
easily
PACT
like
Act, the
this.
American
Like,
Rescue
come
Plan,
on.
the infrastructure package, the gun law. They've forgiven student loan debt. For
And all of
43
his
million
viewers are
Americans.
gone.
You have
Like, he had
Republicans who've introduced
50,000 and now they're
nothing,
just dead.
no plans, and lined up to oppose every single piece of that legislation, save for a couple of votes on the infrastructure package, for example. A couple votes on the CHIPS
Oh,
Act.
he's for the
a couple
Green New
votes on the
Deal?
PACT Act after
Oh, now I know
initially,
he's a real piece of shit.
blocking it because they were mad that the Inflation Reduction Act was
Hold
going
on.
to become a reality. So again,
Yes,
my best advice
it is a
don't
horrible
listen to what
reality.
these politicians say on either side of the aisle. Watch what they do. You have no solutions from Republicans. You have solutions from Democrats. We've
There
been
you go.
trying for years to get the government to negotiate lower drug prices, to allow the government to negotiate lower drug prices. So there's some parity in terms of the prescription drugs that we pay in the United States versus what the rest of the world pays. Republicans tried to oppose it.
Yeah,
That
they
we
did
wanted,
because it sucked.
Some funding allocated so that we can finally invest money in both chips and renewable energy sources. And what happened immediately after the CHIPS Act and the Inflation Reduction Act was passed? We had an absolute
Hold on. I'm
avalanche
trying to
of
fix this.
investment in renewable energy plants and manufacturing here
I wanna
in the
put my
United
little
States, in
Pepe
places
on
like
the screen.
Ohio and North Carolina.
I want my
That is
Pepe
thanks
friend.
to that legislation. That would have never happened if
Dang
Republicans
it.
were in control, because Republicans are only looking
Yay.
to entrench a dying industry of fossil fuels.
Yes,
because that's
aggressive
the
people.
fossil fuel the oil and gas industry donates to.
Yes.
They're looking out for themselves and their jobs. When we are brought into the future,
Let's
and we're
go,
able to
people.
finally, combat China when it comes to renewable energy and manufacturing, it will be thanks to those pieces of legislation
Really?
passed by Democrats.
You're saying that
So again,
Democrats
don't
are
listen to what these
helping
people
us
say,
fight
especially
China?
when
Are
the
you
Republicans
serious?
are beating their
Oh
chest
my
about
God, what a
jobs.
clown.
Watch what they do, because they oppose the piece of legislation that brought tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of jobs, and billions of dollars in investments
Really?
into this country.
We have so
thanks
much
to
money?
chips and renewable,
Then why
energy,
are we in more debt
funding
than
from
before
the Inflation
Biden?
Reduction Act?
Why?
So, again, it's pretty damn clear.
Tulsi
what's at
Gabbard
stake
would be
in this
all
election,
right.
this
She's
Pennsylvania
still kind
Senate
of a
race.
Democrat,
If you want
so
Republicans to have majority,
just not for
then
me.
you're looking at a
But she is
nationwide ban
pretty
on
good.
abortion. You're looking at the elimination of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. You're looking at same-sex marriage on the chopping block. You're looking at contraception on the chopping block. You're looking at no more.
He is
funding
freaking
for
out.
Climate change. You're looking at a repeal
Yes, climate
of
change. Fuck
pieces
climate
of legislation
change.
like the Inflation Reduction Act, which finally allocated funding for
Even if
renewable energy.
not
You're
for
looking at,
climate change,
a repeal of
they're
that act,
trying
which
to
would,
reverse nuclear
allow the
power,
government to negotiate
which
lower drug
is
prices. All that would go
pro
away.
climate
When
change,
what you
like
have with the
helping
Democrats,
the environment,
however,
but they
is
still
more money
won't
to
support
renewable
it.
energy
So
that we
what
can
the
finally
fuck are
get
we
into
supposed
the
to do?
21st century and beat China when it comes to all of that.
He
renewable
really wants to beat
manufacturing.
China.
We're looking at more jobs. We're looking at safer.
Then why are we
gun
cuddling up to
legislation
him?
and an assault weapons ban?
An
Like we
assault
had in the
weapons
90s,
ban?
and
Are you
Gun
kidding?
deaths went down, only to then go up when the assault weapons ban expired. You're looking at
In the
codification
90s, we had
of
less
Roe. You're
deaths.
looking at
Is
codification of
is he
same-sex
on
marriage. You're
crack?
looking at protection of
Is this like
contraception, and
Hunter
all of it
Biden
without
2.0?
That's what's at stake in this election. It's pretty simple. I know they'll try to make it as convoluted as possible. They'll try to temper their
Oh,
language.
he
They
has
have
an
measured
assault
language
weapons
now that
ban.
it's a general
Well,
election,
you know.
and they've taken their
What do you
abortion
think,
ban
little
language
people?
off of their websites. And
I
people
think
like
that's a
Dr.
terrible
Oz, who have
idea.
previously come out and called abortion murder.
I think so, too.
Are no longer saying that because they're trying to appeal to a larger electorate, and they think you're stupid enough that you're not paying attention, that you don't know what's
Oh,
going
we're
on.
paying attention.
But
We're
the
just paying
records are
attention to how
clear.
terrible you
They
are.
broadcast where they stand. Again, if they were willing to introduce a nationwide ban on abortion before, just
No.
weeks before the election,
She has not explained
a position
it.
that is egregiously unpopular, just imagine what they'll do when they don't have to face voters.
Yeah.
That's what I would say about all of that.
What is
That's
this
what's at
viewer
stake in this
saying? Hold
election.
on.
With that, we'll leave it there.
They're just like spamming blue
if
hearts.
you enjoyed the live stream,
This guy's
and
a
commentary,
hit the
I would
dislike
ask one
button,
favor, and that's to
no.
please subscribe to this channel. That is the best way to support me. It
Oz.
doesn't cost anything. Just hit the subscribe button right there on my channel. I would
If you
really
want
appreciate it.
somebody said if
That
you want
really helps
Russia,
me
vote
in terms
GOP.
of, in terms of
No,
continuing
most
to-
Republicans
to
don't give a shit about that
grow this
stupid
channel
war,
and
it doesn't
do what I
involve
do.
us,
So
and we shouldn't be
thank
spending
you,
our money
for
on something
watching.
that doesn't involve us.
Again, throw a subscribe if you haven't yet had a chance to subscribe. I know you had a lot of options in terms of where to watch this debate, so I appreciate
Yeah, you
tuning
could
in.
watch it here, where it's like something way
keep an eye
better
out
than this
week
crackhead.
because, I have an interview coming out, I believe tomorrow or the next day, with Mike Franken, who is the
He
Iowa
has
Senate
1.57
candidate of
million
Democrats,
views, and I have
who is now pretty much
1,000.
neck and neck with Chuck Grassley after
Talk
some
about
bombshell
the
polls,
liberal media bias,
some
huh?
very, very, very high quality polls that show.
I mean,
him
look at
only
me.
3 points back.
I'm
in the state of
clearly a
Iowa
more
against Chuck Grassley's
reliable
running for
source of
re-election
news.
in a
Isn't that
term
right, little
that he'll be
people?
95
Yes,
years
it
old
is.
at the end of.
I
So if
think
you're
the
wondering why
liberals are
this guy, Mike
scum and
Franken,
want to destroy our country.
is surging right now.
I
in
think
Iowa,
so too.
That's why. So definitely keep an eye out for that interview. I'll also do daily breaking news videos. So if you have about 5 minutes a day, this is a great place to watch them. So throw me a subscribe if you haven't yet.
He's
Thank you so
protecting
much
me,
for
guys.
watching,
This is
and
my
I'll talk
Second
to you
Amendment
soon.
right,
Thanks.
and he is protecting me. Oh, he's done. Wait, he looks way better in this picture. This is why he didn't put his glasses in this picture, or in his his normal picture. Maybe he went on like a vegan diet and lost all of his manly features, or maybe he just started drinking too much Soylent. Wow, I can't believe that really happened. Well, let's close that garbage. It actually made my whole fucking video lag just to close it. Okay. Move you over here, Mr. Peepo. I'll move myself right here. Yeah. 10 years ago, we had Steve Jobs, Bob Hope, and Johnny Cash. Now we got no jobs, no hope, and no cash. Please, God, don't let Kevin Bacon die. I'll have to raise a cup to that. Ha 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 ha. Hold on, where's the cup? I have a little cup thing. Yes. I'll raise my glass to that, guys. So yeah, I think that's about the whole stream. I'm gonna drop my thoughts real quick here. In my opinion, Fetterman is way too, like, something's wrong with him. Like, there's seriously something wrong with him, and I'm not being facetious, I'm not being mean-spirited, I'm, like, just stating a fact. He is very sick. He needs to have his own little rocking chair in a nursing home with a blanket and a cat on his lap, just like Joe Biden should be. Secondly, Oz was clearly prepared for this debate. He is a TV talk show host, so I guess he does have to perform a lot more than a normal doctor would. I've seen his shows here and there. It's just not for me. I don't really like morning TV. I like YouTubers and gaming. But he was clearly ready for this shit. Like, he did a fantastic job, in my opinion. Fetterman really had a hard time getting back into the debate. Like, he stalled for seconds, precious seconds wasted of his debate time when the person who was, running the debate was like, okay, it's your turn. He's like, okay, here's my debate. That was literally him. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And I think maybe the polls will flip really hard tonight because it finally showed just how deficient he was. You know, people only saw clips here and there, that lump on his head, but now it's clear for the whole public because Democrats and Republicans watch these debates. And I think people will finally realize, like, ugh, like, yikes. That's kind of gross. And I'm not trying to be rude here, but if you're like that far gone that you can't hold up yourself in a debate, then you shouldn't be running. Even if you're just doing like the hard ass, like rude to everybody Trump approach, at least you're keeping up the pace. This guy, he wasn't even in the same room or in the same race. So yeah, that was just my opinions. Thanks for joining the stream because it was really awesome to see how many viewers were here. Like 13 viewers on a stream. Like, whoa, guys. Here, let's give the peepo the hat. Dang it. It can only go on me. Alright. Well, this was a pretty fun stream. I might do this again for other debates. I probably will, because it was really funny. I was just laughing my ass off the whole time. Anyways, yeah, I'll be doing a Young Turks video tomorrow, so subscribe for that if you want to see that tomorrow. Just gonna be shitting on them being hypocrites and like, oh, disinformation campaign, fucking, Russia, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that. That's what I'll be talking about. And then Friday, I'll probably be streaming or playing video games or something. Or uploading another thing of Spooky's Jumpscare Castle. So yeah, thank you so much for coming. It was super fun, and I really liked it. I really appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Goodbye, guys. Can you say goodbye, Mr. People? Yes, I can. Thank you for coming to the stream. Protect the Second Amendment. The federal government are a load of crap. Don't forget Ruby Ridge, and the CIA and FBI are evil. That's so true. Thanks for reminding everybody. Mwah. All right, I'm getting out of here.